In this tutorial, we will learn about VBA programming for user form and ActiveX controls. Here I have this Excel sheet and I want to fill some information for these columns, and to fill this information I want to use user form. So I have one command button on this sheet. Once I click here, it shows a user form. Whatever information I will fill on this user form, I can click on the command button that is there on this user form, and it will transfer all the information from user form to this Excel sheet. So let me fill some information: name, then gender. For food, I can select one or both checkboxes. For sport, we have a list box, so I will select cricket. Now once data is filled in this user form, I will click on this command button. We can see that data is transferred from user form to Excel sheet. Now I can press exit button to close user form. So let's see how we can develop this kind of user form and use it for data entry. So let me open a new Excel file. To save time, let me copy 3 rows from previous file to new file. And let me close previous file. As a first step, I'll go to developer tab, click on insert, and then add a command button. Let me delete these values. Now command button, let me click on properties and change caption for this command button. We can see here that for this command button we have name and caption. So caption is to display value, and by default whatever name is there that we can use in VBA programming. So let me close this property window. Now I will go to VBA editor. So there is a shortcut Alt and F11, or I can double click on this command button and go to VBA editor. On left hand side we can see the object hierarchy for this Excel. So I'll select this workbook and right click, then using insert option I will click on user form. So this is the user form where we can put all the required ActiveX controls by using this toolbox. So let me add ActiveX controls. So first of all, I will select label because we need 4 labels. I can drag and drop labels one by one, or I can copy this and paste it on same user form. Then I will change the caption or name for this all these labels. For first label, I will right click, go to properties. So this is property window where caption I will change to name. For second label, I will change to gender. For third, food. For fourth, I will change to sport. So what we have done, we have changed caption for each level according to the requirement. Now let me change the font size. So what I will do, I will select all four levels by pressing Ctrl and selecting each one by one. Then I will use font property, make it bold, font size 10, press OK. So we can see that font for all selected controls, or in this case labels, is changed. Let me close this property window and add some more ActiveX controls. So next control, I want text box for name, and then I want two option buttons. I will copy and paste and I will add two check boxes. We can copy and paste check boxes also. For sport, I want to use list box. We can see that in this toolbox we have one ActiveX control named list box. So I'll use list box for sports selection. Now I will add one command button to transfer data and second command button to exit from user form. So all controls that we are using on this user form, first we need to note down what is the name for each ActiveX control that we will use in VBA programming and what caption we want to keep it here. So for this user form, if I right click by selecting user form and check the properties, then name is user form 1. For text box, name is text box 1. For option buttons, for first option button, name is option button 1. For second option button 2. For checkboxes, first one is checkbox 1 and second is checkbox 2. For list box, name is list box 1. First command button name is command button 1 and for second it is command button 2. This is very important to note down the name property for each control. It will help us to write correct VBA code, because here if we see checkbox 1 and checkbox 1 is coming two times. However, if we check property, then we see that name property is showing different values. For first one it is checkbox 1, for second it is checkbox 2. Once we have noted down all the names by checking the property for each control, now we can write the VBA code. Or before that, what we can do is we can change the caption. For checkbox, we don't need to change caption. For first option button, I will change this to male. For second option button, caption I will change to female. Remember, this caption property is just to display values. For food, we have checkboxes. For first checkbox, caption I will change to veg, and for second we can change to non-veg. This list box also does not require caption to be changed. This command button we can change to something like transfer values to sheet, or whatever we want to give. For second command button, I will change this to exit form. Now what I need to do is, first of all, this list box does not have any value. So what I want, whenever user form is being uploaded, list box should be added all the list items that we want to add. So what I will do, I will double click on this user form, and we can see that it is user form and event. I would like to select initialize. So before showing user form, whatever we want to write, we can write it here. So I want to add all the list items to list that is there on this user form. As we have noted down, name of list box is list box 1. So I can write here list box 1 dot add item space, in inverted commas I can write hockey, or any list item we can add here. Let me copy this and paste for as many list items we want, and I will just change the values within inverted commas. So let me add few sports name. So what we have done, we have added list items, and these list items would be available once user form is uploading. We need to make sure that event that we are using is user form initialize event. Now I will go to user form again. So I will double click on this user form on left hand side. Now next task is that once we click on transfer value to sheet or first command button, all the values from user form should be transferred to sheet. So VBA code I will write on the click event of this command button. So let me double click on this command button and I'll write all my VBA code here. Let's see step by step what VBA code we can write. More time, let's see where we need to transfer data. So data has to be transferred on third row in column A, B. For food, we will use C and D, and for a sports, we will use E column. But row is only third row. Let me write worksheets. The name of sheet, that is sheet 1 dot cells, row number 3, column first, that is A dot value equal to text box 1 dot text. Remember, we noted down that what is the name of text box that we have used on user form. Now we will write code for option buttons. I'll write if option button 1 dot value equal to true, then this line says if option button first is selected. Closing statement. So if option button 1 is selected, what we want, worksheets sheet 1 dot cells, then row number 3 column 2 dot value equal to male. Male is a string value, so we will have to cover it with inverted commas. So these three lines are for first option button. I can copy these three lines, paste them here. Then if option button 2 is selected, then third row and second column, that means same cell, should have value as female. What next? Now we will write VBA code for checkboxes the same way that we have used for option button. We can use for checkboxes. So if checkbox 1 dot value equal to true, then closing statement. Worksheets sheet 1 dot cells. This time we want to write value in third column. So third row and third column dot value equal to yes. So this is for first checkbox. If first checkbox we marked as yes or select on user form, it will write yes as a value in third row in third column. Let me copy these three lines and paste them. Then checkbox 2. If checkbox 2 dot value equal to true, then what should happen? In fourth column, it will write yes. Now we are left with writing code for list box, and value that we will transfer from list box to sheet will go to fifth column. So let me write code worksheets dot cells third row and fifth column dot value equal to list box 1 dot value, and we are done for VBA code for all ActiveX controls that we have on user form. Now let me double click on user form at left hand side. Now what we need to do is we can write code for closing user form. So I will double click on exit form command button, and here I will write unload user form 1. So user form 1 is name for user form. Now one more line of VBA code we need to write on the command button to show user form, and this command button is on Excel sheet. So I will double click on this command button. VBA code to show user form is user form name, that is user form 1 dot show. So what we have done so far, we have noted down all the names property for each ActiveX control. Then we have written one line of code on command button that we have on Excel sheet, and we have written data transfer VBA code for first command button on user form, and one line of VBA code to exit from user form or to close user form. So let me minimize this VBA editor window and see how all this VBA code is working. Let me click on design mode to turn off design mode. When I click this show user form button, we can see this user form. If I write any value and for gender selecting option button, for food selecting check boxes, for sport any sport we can select from this list box, and I click on transfer values to sheet, and we can see that all the values are transferred to Excel sheet. Now when I click on this exit form, then user form is closed. So step by step we can do programming for user form and ActiveX controls. Now next question is, if I click on show user form and another data we want to enter as a next record or next values, we need to do some advanced programming that we can learn in next tutorial, where logic would be kind of checking the next available blank row and transferring values to that next available row. Let me show the code again. I hope this tutorial is good for learning VBA programming for user form and ActiveX controls. Thanks for watching.